Y'all, are you stressed every time you hear people talking about AI? Every time you hear them talking about AI, you're like, oh no, I'm not doing that. Oh no, they're further ahead. Oh no, I'm going to be left behind. I'm going to be left in the dirt. I'm going to be left in the dust. Because same. Okay, I want to get real with you. I'm obsessed with AI. I love AI. It's the perfect complement to my ADHD. I feel like it's become my executive functioning. I've built an entire project in Claude Code. I've built websites, lead magnets, newsletters, YouTube outlines. I've built an entire task management system for myself. Like my whole business runs on AI. And yet, every time I hear people talking about AI, I'm like, oh no, I'm behind. They know more than me. They are better than me. I'm so far behind. I'm going to get left in the dust. This happens every single time. If you're in the same boat, you're in good company. And I'm going to tell you exactly why this is happening and exactly what to do about it. And the answer is not to watch 12 more hours of YouTube videos trying to understand how all these different tools work. This is actually a pattern that your brain has been running for years, and AI is just the latest trigger. So stick around and I'll tell you exactly what to do about it. First of all, you have to name it when it shows up. In the last 2 weeks, I have been on the AI roller coaster of like times when I'm like, this is the greatest thing to ever happen. This is so amazing. I can't believe it. I'm like texting all my AI buddies like, I created this. Look how cool this is. And like spending all my time in Claude. I'm waking up in the morning thinking about what I want to build in Claude Code. I'm like going crazy. And then other times just plummeting and talking to somebody else and being like, I'm so behind. I'm so behind. I have no idea what's happening. There's so much more I need to learn. I don't even understand the words that are coming out of their mouth. I have no idea what they're talking about here. And the roller coaster of emotions just keeps going. It'll happen when you see somebody talk about it on LinkedIn, when you get an email or somebody teaching you their latest tricks and prompts and what they're using and how they're switching and what they're doing. It might come up in a meeting when somebody's like, oh, I used AI for this. And you're like, wait, what? I didn't even think to use AI for that. That would be such a good idea. Why haven't I thought of that? I'm so far behind. So the first step is just noticing when you're feeling it. Name it. Be like, oh, this is the AI FOMO. And just point it out to yourself. Start to become aware of all the times that it comes up for you. What's wild is that this feeling comes up whether or not you have experience, whether or not you've been working with AI, whether or not you have a lot of AI things built out. It's not AI dependent. This is the pattern that you go through over and over again. And AI is just the latest trigger. So here's what's actually happening in the psychology behind this. This is just compare and despair and imposter syndrome repackaged. This comes up all the time for so many different reasons. It might come up because a while ago, everybody was social selling and you're like, oh no, I need to learn how to use LinkedIn and I need to learn how to social sell. I even remember back in 2008, everyone was blogging and I was like, I need to blog. I'm behind. Everybody has a blog. I've got to be a blogger. This is what I need to do. Or when Instagram came around or when Twitter came around, like we all have those moments of like, oh no, people are getting something that I'm not getting. And it's just compare and despair and imposter syndrome all over again, repackaged. Your brain has a negativity bias. We've talked about this very recently. It's always looking for the things that are going wrong. It's always looking for the ways that you don't measure up. It's always scanning for risk and looking for what are the ways that I'm going to die? What are the ways that I'm going to lose my job? What are the ways that I'm going to be found out as a fraud? I always tell this to people and it's so funny because every single time they laugh, and it's funny because the first time I relayed this story to them, I thought it was just me. And the more I say it, the more people laugh. I always say, like when I'm like over traumatizing somebody's imposter syndrome, I'm like, yeah, you feel like you just got lucky and they're going to find out that you're not supposed to be here. And then if they do find that out, they're going to find out that you've been making it up this entire time. And then you're going to lose your job. And then you're going to go bankrupt. You're going to lose all your money. And then your family's going to be homeless. And then everybody dies. And they always laugh because they're like, that's exactly what is going on in my brain. How did you know? And it's so funny to me to have these conversations with people because I'm like, oh, wow, we legitimately all have the same fears. We all have the same primitive brain that's running and is just scanning for risks. And it's amazing how we all have the same story of how this is going to play out. We end up homeless and then we all die. Like that's the fear because we don't know how to use AI. So I want you to just start to notice this. Notice when it comes out and call it out for yourself. Oh, this is just imposter syndrome. Oh, this is just compare and despair. It sucks so bad because we have social media. So we have an all-you-can-eat buffet of ways to compare ourselves to other people. But what we're not seeing is all we see is their highlight reel. We don't see all the problems they had, all the frustration, all the times when they're banging their head against their desk, asking the same question over and over and feeling like, I don't understand what you're saying here. And on top of all of this, the goalpost always moves. So you look at somebody like me and I was like, I'm kind of curious about Claude Code. I keep hearing people talk about Claude Code. I want to learn how to do it. It's been me hours to understand how to use Claude Code. Now that I've used it, it's like so intuitive and it's a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. But getting started, I was just like, I have no idea. What's a skill? What's a command? What are you even talking about here? How do I do any of this? And now I feel very competent in Claude Code. I'm telling all my friends about it. I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever. You have to use it. It's so amazing. I'm telling my chiropractor, like, you need Claude Code. My chiropractor's never used AI before. I mean, like maybe like here and there, but like is not an AI power user. And I'm like, let me get you set up. It's the best thing ever. You're going to love it. And yet my goalpost just keeps moving. I had conversations with people, a few different conversations about AI this week. And every single time I hear how somebody else is using AI, the goalpost moves. And I'm like, oh no, I'm so far behind. I'm not where they are. I'm not like, there's more I need to learn. I need to try that out. I need to spend more time. And all this week, I'm like, I'm so behind. And realistically, I'm not behind. But my goalpost keeps on moving. And so I'm never going to catch up to these AI FOMO expectations. So the next question is, what do you actually do? Okay, I'm noticing, yes, Amber, this feels really relatable. This feels like exactly how I feel. And these are the exact thoughts that go through my head. And what do I do about it? There's 3 questions I want you to ask when this AI FOMO hits. Number 1, is this a real gap or a feelings gap? A real gap would be like, I don't know how to use AI for prospecting, and it could probably save me a couple hours if I learned how to use it for prospecting. That's something that's solvable. That's something that's real that I could go learn. It's a solvable problem. A feelings gap is something like everybody else knows AI and I don't, and I'm behind and I'm going to lose my job and AI is going to replace me and I'm not going to have a job. That's a feelings gap. That's comparison. That's despair. It's not particularly solvable. It's not particularly specific. Question number 2, what am I already doing that I'm not giving myself credit for? We talked about this in a very recent episode. Your brain is going to find evidence for whatever you focus on. If you're focused on the fact that I'm behind, everybody else is doing AI better than me, what am I going to do? How am I going to do this? Then yes, you're going to feel horrible. But if you're focusing on the ways that you've already had some wins, so like the things that you've already created and the things you've already learned and the things that you're already competent at, you can start to feel a lot better. And question number 3, what is one thing that I can learn this week that would actually help me? This helps you get out of the compare and despair, imposter syndrome, frantic, scarcity mindset, and instead puts you back in control. What is one thing I can learn this week that could actually help me? We're not talking about mastering AI. We're not talking about become a AI master and start a YouTube channel teaching other people about AI. Like that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about one specific thing. I've talked a lot about overwhelm. Overwhelm is caused by things being unclear and things being too big. And the way that you solve for that is by making things clear and breaking them down smaller. When you get really specific, the overwhelm dissipates and disappears and you feel a lot more in control. You don't need to become an AI expert to solve this problem. Yes, use AI. Believe me, I'm obsessed with it. It's been so phenomenal. It's helped me in so many ways, and I highly recommend everybody learning about it. But once you find yourself in that scarcity, needy, graspy energy, that's not going to help anybody, and it's certainly not going to help you. So notice when you start to get in that mode and think about specific things that you want to learn and specific ways that you want to try to use it and specific things that you want to use it for. The problem comes in when we're just in this compare and despair mode and we're comparing our chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 12. When really it might just be their chapter 3, but they have good lighting. We don't know the whole backstory of where they actually are. It's not a fair comparison of what we're comparing ourselves to. And when we get panicked about it, we're not taking action to solve the problem. So get really specific, praise yourself for what you've already done, notice all the ways that you're already being successful at this, and keep moving forward. AI is not going anywhere, to my knowledge. And also the feelings of feeling behind are also not going anywhere. That's just your brain grasping for certainty. And I believe that the sellers who are going to succeed are not the ones that necessarily are masters of AI. I think that's going to be very helpful. But I think it's the ones who are going to be masters of their brain, masters of their emotions, masters of how they think about things, how they approach things, and masters of being in control of themselves. The way I look at AI is it's so helpful for people like me who have ADHD and my executive functioning doesn't function all the time. And AI can really fill that gap for me. And it unlocks the ability for me to do what I'm best at. It unlocks the ability for me to build relationships, to be strategic, to think about what I want to have accomplished. For my sellers, to think about their deals and to think about the strategy behind it. And AI is doing a lot of the busy work to help unlock the best versions of you. I think of it as a partner and not necessarily something that's going to replace you entirely. So again, if you're feeling behind, you're in really good company. It's totally okay. And just start to notice when that panic and that overwhelm comes in, calm it down, remind yourself of what you're already good at, and be really specific about what you want to learn next. Nothing is wrong with you for feeling this way. Just keep going. You're going to figure this out. And if you liked this, if you want more of this, be sure to subscribe. I'm here every Monday. And if you feel like there's somebody you know who needs to hear this, please feel free to send it to them. If this is resonating, I go deeper on this in my weekly newsletter, the Get Out of Your Own Way newsletter. And this next week, I'm going to publish a newsletter all about the 3 reframes for AI. If you want to make sure that you get that, you get these questions in your inbox, go to mentalmastery.com and subscribe to my newsletter. I'll see you next week.